Brew, should the Cowboys stop talking about the Super Bowl?
In fairness, they are being asked questions about the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott was asked about the drought.
Which, by the way, that
Super Bowl drought.
Well, we don't know. It could be a conference championship game drought. The guy just said
when you're
drought.
in Dallas, it's the Super Bowl drought.
Sorry.
All right, but yes, stop talking about the Super Bowl.
Good.
Just because you're being asked about it doesn't mean you have to play along. Here's how you answer it. Well, look, in Dallas, when you wear the star, of course, that's always the goal. But the only way for us to get to the Super Bowl is to take it day by day, week by week, game by game. We got a long way to go before we start thinking about the Super Bowl. Right now, I'm all in. All my focus is on the New York Giants.
Wow.
And when you start answering like that, guess what? The reporters will stop asking you about the Super Bowl until it's appropriate. Oh, really?
I doubt that.
When you start getting those boring, mundane answers, they'll wait until it's really time to ask about the Super Bowl. Now, I know it's Super Bowl or bust. Football America, outside of you two, knows it's Super Bowl or bust. But I don't want to hear the Cowboys talk about it. That's part of their problem. They're always running their mouths. They're yapping. From the owner on down, it is. The culture's bad, and that is part of their problem.
That is not why they haven't been able to beat the San Francisco 49ers.
It don't make it easier.
That's not why.
It doesn't make it better.
Okay. First of all, before I answer the question, and I know you're trying to convince everyone on this show to not answer questions that I ask. You say you tell them on and off the air not to do it. But Brew
we
is
have a
his own
full
man,
meeting
and
about
Brew's
the
not.
question, and
But
then you
I'm
decide to take it in your own Nick Wright direction.
But I'm just curious, because Wildes has asked you this, and I still don't quite know the answer. What is the bust exactly that we're talking about?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, you should.
You're supposed to say no.
You should answer that, because that's one that I kind of tease you
The
with.
bust is just disappointment.
Okay.
And I hold on. I get it that when the Atlanta Falcons don't win the Super Bowl this year, yeah, there's going to be disappointment.
Bijan Robinson might have
But
some
my
say about
point is that in Dallas, I hate that I keep repeating myself, but for you guys to understand it, maybe it'll get through one of these days. The Lakers, the Yankees, the Cowboys, it is championship or bust.
Right. That's
period.
Notre Dame
bust
football,
just means kind of Notre Dame. I know Rick he threw in Notre Dame on our staff, but maybe.
Notre Dame makes the playoff. Notre Dame makes the Final
and then
Four.
they get demolished.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, so here's the thing. I don't have a problem with this. And this is not the same as the coach hanging a massive Super Bowl banner. This is not the same as volunteering that, amongst players, that's all we're talking about is the end of the season. He was, to Brew's point, asked a direct question and gave a direct answer. And I think really as... He didn't couch it, but as professional of terms as he could have. He wasn't like, I guarantee we're going to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Didn't do any of that. So I know if Coach Mangini were here.
Every week we hear
Coach
about
wants,
the Super Bowl from a Cowboy.
But that's, no.
Whether it's Jones
more
or a
often than
player.
not, it's the owner. The players not so often, and when it is from the players, it is because they are asked it. And so I don't mind. Dak knows that with this defense, with this talent in this conference, if Dak is good, they're a legit contender. And if Dak is great, they're the favorites in the conference. So
really?
I feel that way. And so I don't have a problem with this the way I might if a team seems to be, walking into this type of expectation or volunteering the Super Bowl commentary. He was asked, how much pressure is on you to end the drought? I don't know what your answer's fine.
I thought
but
Bruce
I don't
was good.
think but I don't think his answer shows you that they have their
What
eye
team goes
off
into the
ball.
season thinking, let's get to the conference championship game?
The Lions.
You think let's win? You understand that if you get there, that's a good season.
Yes.
But your goal is never just to get to the conference championship.
No.
It's to win the whole shebang.
But that's all 32 teams. Yet all 32 teams are not Super Bowl or bust. And right, Brew? All 32 teams are going for the Super Bowl. All 32 teams, though, it is not a bust.
So a lot of teams, if you get that far, I get it.
Yes.
It'll be okay.
And the Cowboys are one of those teams.
No, they aren't.
Okay.
No, they are not.
Okay.
I pulled a headline for you, Brew, just before we move on. Jerry Jones is surprised by the Cowboys Super Bowl drought. When is that headline from?
Oh, I'd love to guess. Can I guess?
Yeah, go.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say
It's not too bad.
2003.
2016.
Oh, okay, 2016.
It's the 20-year-old Super Bowl.
I didn't answer because I saw it.
But it's just we can't Super Bowl or bust.
I knew it was
Since
20 years. It says 20 years.
Well,
but I let it
Thank
go.
you.
Luckily, it might
playing along.
end this year, Wildes.
Oh!
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on.
No, go ahead.
ask
Get
I
to our
have to
next
change
topic.
the page.
I'm ready for the
Separate
question.
things.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Prediction week is next week, but Monday we're doing both NFC and AFC East. But here's the Super Bowl odds.
Yeah.
Chiefs in the driver's seat, then the Eagles, who start the season 0-1 against the Patriots. The Bills with Stephon Diggs, who may or may not want to be there. The Bengals, who have a quarterback who is limping. The San Francisco 49ers.
The quarterback coming off elbow surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold and Trey Lance in the number 3 spot. And then it's the Cowboys, who
Yeah.
haven't been to the big dance in 28 years.
Yeah.
Is this the year they end the drought and get to the Super Bowl?
So, as you said, prediction week is next week, and so we won't be locked into anything.
They're all in pencil.
Until then.
This is your last show to not be
But
locked in.
I believe in the Cowboys this year. I think we are underrating what they did last season. They won 12 games despite missing their starting quarterback for a third of the season. 2 of their 5 losses were in overtime. One of them was the first game of the year, one of them was the last game of the year, and one of them was to the 14-win Eagles with their backup quarterback. That's all 5 of their losses. I don't think they got worse this offseason. I like the addition of Brandon Cooks. I like the addition of Stephon Gilmore, and not just because it was a cool, tear-jerking draft moment and some cool highlights. I wanted Deuce Vaughn in the draft for the Chiefs. Now, he's a local guy. He went to K-State. I maybe watched him a little closer than a lot of people. I like that as, you usually don't get a guy who can maybe make a couple real impact plays in the 5th or 6th round, and I think Deuce Vaughn could have a couple big-time plays over the course of the season. All those reasons, plus what I think is an inevitable regression from the Philadelphia Eagles, and all of the sports gods being against the San Francisco 49ers, not a lot of options in the NFC.
You had me till the sports.
Okay, well, all right.
Your sports
was all
gods got
cogent and then-
embarrassed
Wait.
during the NBA playoffs.
No,
all I heard was basketball gods.
Yeah, the basketball guys
and it didn't
carried
look
the
good
Miami
for 'em.
Heat. Oh, I'm sorry.
Really? And how they go in the finals?
Oh, they carried them to the finals, my friend.
they
But
got
set that aside.
shellacked in
They
5
can't do
games.
everything, my friend. But more importantly,
I thought we were done with this basketball, football
all right.
guys,
So
all
take
that.
if you guys want to, be heretics.
Give me some analytics.
That's fine.
Give me some highlights, some facts, some
I don't
hardcore
believe
stuff.
that Brock Purdy, who was physically limited before he had elbow surgery, is going to make it through the season as a top-flight quarterback. I don't believe the San Francisco 49ers we have any reason to believe that anyone can play in the Shanahan system and make it through a full season, much less a guy coming off that. And I
so
know
it's based on
that
injuries.
if Sam Darnold, has to play, you're cooked no matter what. So for any and all those reasons, I'm out on the Niners. I think the Eagles will regress. I really like the Cowboys' chances in the NFC.
They are a contender.
Yes.
It is a weak conference compared to the AFC, obviously. There's 3 top contenders. Maybe some will emerge. Maybe the Lions will be even better than people expect. But Dallas, Philadelphia, and San Francisco, obviously. And Dak, Jalen Hurts, you take over him. I agree. You wouldn't take Brock Purdy, at least not right now, over Dak Prescott. We'll see if Brock can do what he did last year again. But Dallas, look, like you said, I like the roster. Obviously, you like the defense. The receiving core got better with Cooks. I think the running game, I love Tony Pollard. And Deuce Vaughn is fine. The running game will be strong. Obviously, the offensive line is always good. But I don't like the culture. I do think that's a problem under Jerry Jones.
Facts.
The drama, the soap opera feel to the team, the distractions every other week. I don't like any of that. He doesn't need to be doing that, talking every game afterwards to the reporters. So, and I'm surprised you're overlooking this, Mike McCarthy's game management, clock management. That's been the last 2 years have ended comically for them. And that is a problem as well. Their lack of attention really under McCarthy, the details. These little details can be the difference between winning a playoff game and losing a playoff game. So that's something that concerns me about them.
That I totally agree with. With that said, when you look around the rest of the NFC, the teams you're talking about, Kyle Shanahan has not exactly been known for great game management at all. Sirianni, I think the jury is still out on him in totality. I think he's a good coach, but whether it's we don't have enough of a sample to fully evaluate him. And then you dismissed the rest of the conference. I agree the AFC is far tougher. I think the Seahawks are a viable, really good team. I do believe that.
So you believe Geno will either do what he did or get better?
I don't even know that he has to get better because so many of their key contributors were young players who I do believe will get better in that regard. So I think Seattle's for real, and I think someone will emerge from the NFC North. I know everyone thinks it'll be Detroit as a viable team as well. And so I just don't think the NFC is just going to be a 3-team
Do you agree with this? That the path for the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl is not to have Dak carry them with his arm.
Yeah.
If he's a game manager who, we need you to make a big play here or there. You're more than your typical game manager, but we are not looking for you to put us on your shoulders and carry us. We want to have a really good balance between the run game and the passing game and not put too much on Dak. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think the path for the Cowboys is to have the best defense in the NFL. I think it's less about their offensive distribution run pass and more about do they have the best defense in the NFL.
The defense has been good against the Niners, though, in the playoffs the last few years.
I understand.
And they haven't gotten the offense.
I get that. But they weren't in those games against the Niners Niners were the best defense in the league last year, and the year before I'm not quite certain. But I think the reason I believe in the Cowboys is I think they can have the number one defense in football and the number 8 offense, a good, not super elite offense, and that can be enough. That absolutely can be enough.
Quickly, we killed the Bills, and I mean you, because Josh Allen had all the red zone turnovers, was fumbling the ball. Mm-hmm. Dak led the league in interceptions.
That was because
it's called narrative.
No,
it's called narrative.
No.
Oh, okay, but it's just an aberration of a year for Dak.
No, it's that Dak's rookie. That's unfair, Brew. That is not accurate. Dak's rookie year. And every year thereafter, he was one of the lowest interception players in the league. Since coming into the league, last year included, he is top 5 in a good way in interception rate amongst quarterbacks. It's Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Mahomes, Dak. So one year, hold on.
When he started throwing it more?
Wait a moment. Hold on. You said it was narrative-based, so I'm going to defend myself there. He had a 4,900-yard season, and he wasn't leading the league in interceptions. We have seen Dak Prescott take care of the ball his entire career. Josh Allen, turning the ball over, has been his biggest bugaboo his entire career. These are not the same thing. And so you're right that if Dak leads the league in interceptions again, they're in trouble. That is more aberrant than Josh Allen, who has always been more of a boom-bust quarterback, higher upside than Dak, but more bad plays. That's not narrative.
I think it's the more they put on his shoulders, though, the more interceptions he's thrown. And that's why I say they need to manage him and not have him throwing the ball. What'd your graphic say a few days ago? 35 times all the time.
I don't know. But then then Tony Pollard's not going to be able to run the ball 20 times.
Well, they're not going. I don't think they're going to run him 20 plus times a game.
Well, and then you're
running in receptions, he'll get 20 to 25.
The Cowboys beat the Giants in both games last year. Nick, do you think the Giants have the Cowboys on upset alert already?
The Cowboys beat the Giants in both games every year. They've won 11 of the last 12. They've won 5 of the last 6 years. They've swept them. The one game the Giants have won, Andy Dalton was starting for the Cowboys. It was a 6-10 Cowboys team, and it was the final week of the season. I do not think that the Giants, even here in New York, are going to start the season off by beating the Dallas Cowboys. I would be shocked if the Giants win that game. Absolutely. I understand it's only a 3.5-point spread, and that's because the Cowboys are on the road, and the Cowboys right now, in my opinion, are slightly undervalued, and the Giants, with all the good vibes, are slightly overvalued. But no, I do not. The Cowboys have the Giants' number in a way that only the Chiefs, Broncos, and Patriots, Jets, where one team has dominated a divisional opponent over the last half decade plus more so.
Alert.
I like it.
Upset alert, yeah. I'll pick the Cowboys. But alert, the Cowboys haven't been great in the season openers. They've lost their last 3, including last year to a mediocre Tampa Bay team.
Yeah, we didn't know it at the
They've
time,
averaged 16 points a game in those 3 losses. So it seems their preseason preparation hasn't been great under Mike McCarthy. It's as simple as that. And so I do think they'll win, but would I be shocked if New York gets them? A lot of good vibes. Brian Dable's a good coach, obviously. No, I wouldn't be shocked. So they're on alert, but I think the Cowboys will survive.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.